Happy Friday.
Friday. The end of the week.
Yes.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling incredible. You know what? My husband, he's got us on this holistic healing journey where we juice everything, like literally every single thing you can think of.
Everything.
Everything.
Meat.
Besides the protein.
Oh, okay.
Okay. But plants and vegetables, everything.
Yeah.
So plants, fruits, and vegetables is what I mean. And so I've definitely started to see it shape up in my skin, my hair, and my nails. I don't know what my husband's giving me, but he's also been giving me teas that help with feminine hormonal balance. So if you meet any crazy women out there who are crazy, you should try these teas that my husband has been, that we're consuming now. So, and it's crazy because I was a skeptic before and I was like, you know what, this doesn't work and everything. But it's been quite a few months now that we've changed our eating habits and our consumption as far as liquids and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I definitely feel a lot more calm, stress-free. I don't worry. I'm not anxious about anything as much as I was before. And I feel like I'm living like this beautiful life.
And you think a lot of it also applies because of the nutrients you're taking from juicing?
Yes.
Okay. Is that the whole family juicing? Are your kids juicing?
Yes.
And what do they say? What do you notice in them?
It's same thing. They're less rowdy. Their attention deficit has diluted. Okay. They're much more present. And I think that ever since we've made this transformation in the way we eat and consume liquids, it's definitely been reflected in all of our behaviors.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, that sounds like a natural way of controlling a lot of our chemical imbalance that we have from just life, right? Anxiety and stress and all that.
Yeah, it wasn't until I think the late 1800s when pharmaceuticals actually became prevalent in our economy. Mm-hmm. And, with pharmaceuticals, the biggest competitor was holistic healing, mm-hmm. all natural, grounding, organic herbs, all of that just went out the door because the people who started the pharmaceuticals then started to monetize out of synthetic, pills. Yeah. And which is not good for you. They definitely get the job done instantly, right? Yeah. In this day and age, we're all about instant gratification. So when people are feeling anxious, when people are feeling sick or depressed or whatever the case may be, they resort to drugs that give them an instant solution. And that's where all these pharmaceuticals make big money because they found a way to chemically manipulate your anatomy to where you can just get over it, But if you start this holistic journey organically and you actually do things in a way that just becomes a part of your life, I can't tell you the difference between how my kids were before and how they are now. I mean, they listen to me better. They actually, they don't get frantic. And, if you take something away from them, they don't go crazy. They've taken a lot more responsibility. I feel like they're growing up faster. And the way that they adhere and respond to us giving them instructions is like a dream come true. I'm like, oh my God, how was I blessed with these two children?
Well, I think a lot of it too is that if it's natural and it's clean, mm-hmm. you're not putting anything in your body that's chemically been altered, right? Whether it's food or pills. And so that's probably really good for your body that you're only putting clean, clean things that go in your body. We're like cars, right? If you take care of your vehicle, your body, it's going to take care of you. Even if you're not going to want, let's say you don't want to juice, just drinking water, enough water through the whole day, being hydrated, that could make a huge difference in how you feel during the whole day. And most of us, and I'll say it for myself because I have to constantly remind myself to drink water, right? Most of us don't drink enough water for what we need for a whole day. We start drinking maybe 1 or 2 water bottles, but we truly need 6 to 8 a day so that your body's functioning normal, just to be able to function normal. Then you add through the day family, stress, anxiety, work, and your body's going at 100 miles an hour inside, right? And you don't have enough water to hydrate your body, dehydration starts. And then that just starts breaking you down, like overheating. And then you start getting that anxiety or the stress, and everything starts feeling 200%, 300% worse than if you really take care of your body with juicing, hydrating properly. You're probably going to feel way better, and you're going to be able to function through the whole day better. It's important to take care of ourselves because we only get one body, right? And as you get older, like I say, as you get older, you start seeing the repercussions of not doing that while you were younger. I know that when you're in your 20s, you feel invincible, like you can do anything. You can sleep an hour and then get up the next day and do it again and don't need to sleep. You don't need to like worry about your diet because your body can burn everything. But as you get older, you start seeing that by not taking care of your body, it all catches up to you. So it's so important, if you can, to take care of yourself. At minimum, you should be drinking enough water to hydrate your body so that it can work properly. But, all right, let's go into real estate. On Wednesday, you brought up a good point about how seasons change in real estate. And it's been important because I feel like we've talked so much about interest rates and everybody's focused so much on interest rates. And we understand that's so important because interest rates help with the PITI, your full payment. And everybody is focused on that too. But I'm glad you brought that up on Wednesday because I was thinking, well, what's going to happen next? Well, what's going to happen next is what happens every year as we get to the next season, which is now. Things start heating up again in the market. And people start looking to sell or prepare to sell because the kids are going to be out of school in June and they can move if they have to make a big move. And people are starting to looking to buy because now they can move their kids or their family into a new home while they're out of school. So it's traditionally, when we get into this May, June, July, August, September, things really heat up for real estate, right? And they pick up. And of course, if you're out there now and you're looking, this is probably it's going to be like the last few months before, not even months, maybe weeks before things start heating up. And you already said, what did price points jump up?
910 or 915.
915, but they were down for
905.
905, right? So we saw them go up and then we saw them dip. And of course, we all thought, and it probably did have an effect, the rates had an effect, right? But also it was the slowest time of the year, which is January, February, March, and kind of April too. So there's a lot of things that were going on. And now if you look at what's going to happen in May and June and July, things are going to pick up. So if you're out there and you're like thinking about what should I do, this is kind of like you're kind of running out of time to try to get in before a lot of people start getting into the market again. And so important for you to really consider your options now so that you can see where you stand. If you truly want to get into a home or you're looking to buy an investment property, because also investment properties, investors start picking up more properties as they start competing with more buyers. Investors are looking to pick up more properties. I just opened an escrow in Coronado, and it's an investment property for $2 million. So there's investors out there still trying to look for properties that make sense for them. So you're also going to start competing with those investors because they know as the market heats up, more families, more buyers are looking to buy properties. And so these investors are now moving in quickly and like, okay, let's snag what we can. So it's important you get your numbers together, you figure out what you want. And the best thing to do is really give us a call so we can do that for you. And what's going to happen this weekend is open houses, right?
Yeah. So week after week, what I've noticed is that from Friday to Saturday, I kid you not, it is berserk. We literally just went from I think 956 open houses yesterday, and then the ones that are going to go on to open houses tomorrow jumped to 6,767.
Wow.
But
From 900 to 6,000?
Yes, yes. And you know what? Time after time, because I'm on top of these numbers.
Yeah.
Every weekend, I kid you not, since the beginning of January, if you really dissect the numbers, we have seen an influx of open houses overnight. It's an average of 5,000. 5,000.
So what does that tell us? What's going on?
That tells us that although we're still seeing the lowest of inventory in the market right now, and we just felt that interest rates have bumped up a little bit and home prices have also shot up a little bit, open houses are shooting up a little bit, we're seeing an increase in buyers. People still want to see homes. I mean, I don't know about you, but if we did not have any open houses, that just means nobody is out there looking for business.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that we're seeing over 6,000 open houses overnight, mind you, that means real estate agents in this industry are saying, hey, look, we've got to open these homes to the public. We've got to put out signs. We've got to do whatever it takes to get these properties sold. So what does that mean for even the lowest inventory that we've been in all history since 2008 right now is that there's still buyers out there. So if you're still looking or even thinking about selling your home, whether it be today or next year, take advantage of what's happening now. I mean, I can't tell you and stress this enough, but how you price your home and the first 10 days of going on the market is absolutely paramount. That's going to position you in a way to tell you whether or not you're going to get multiple offers or you're just going to sit there and wait for the right buyer to come 6 months down the line.
Yeah, yeah. And I know for sure that we were looking at a report last week and we talked a little bit this Monday about it. According to Fannie Mae and according to new constructions, more loan applications were submitted in the last 2 weeks. So they've gone up. That means there's more potential buyers trying to enter the market. And yes, this number fluctuates. A lot of it has to do because of what happens with interest rates and also what happens in Iran that puts people kind of back on the fence. They're not sure if they should apply. But once things settle, people that want to buy start getting back into the market. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing higher loan applications, and we're probably going to see them through the whole summer because that's normally what we see in the months of May, June, and July. We just see things pick up. Those are the hottest months for real estate. That's been, I don't know historically the numbers. Maybe we can pull them up and we can put them up here. But historically, it's always been a hot market during those months, and that might go back decades.
Yeah, well, I looked at the history, and I've looked at the
There you go. Maybe we should ask her.
Well, I mean, it's backed by data.
Yeah,
it is
absolutely.
Backed by data. I mean, the market is literally like this. But if you look at the chart from 2008 down to 2026, you're going to see a downward swing like this. But even though you're seeing a heart rate pulsing, right, it's still at the same seasons. Mm-hmm. You see a spike up during the summertime, then a drop in the fall, then it starts cooling down in the winter, and then it comes back up in the spring. But the peak is always in the summertime. And no matter what, and this is going back 16 years to where we're at today. I mean, 16 years ago, I was 20. I was 20 years old.
I'm not going to say how old I was. But you know, she's putting me on the spot on purpose, okay? 16 years ago, I was 34. Okay, fine.
Well, okay, just to put things into perspective, okay?
Okay, let's stop with the age.
But I mean, like, if you could just think back, like, how old you were when it was 2008, like, can your mind even go back far to think, okay, what was the real estate market back then, you know? Because I can't tell you how many times I run into buyers right now who did purchase in 2014, 2017, and then they come to me and they're like, you're crazy if you think I'm going to buy now with a 6% interest rate and everything. And I'm like, well, like, what are you expecting, you know? And they say, well, I want prices to be back in COVID. Well, I hate to break it to you, but like,
That's gone, yeah.
that is long gone. And I just really want to stress, you know, every time the war started in February, right? Everybody felt when gas prices increased.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what's happening today? We're seeing it stabilize around $7, you know, $6, $7, depending on where you shop for gas. But, but I mean, if you think about it, right, like, everybody is trying to catch up with what happened in the past, and they're not living in today's world. And so for all of our new viewers and our audience who are chiming in, if you haven't liked and subscribed to our YouTube channel, please do. And I'd like to see in your comments, you know, what are your thoughts about today's real estate market? Because
yes, please tell us. We want to know what you think, because everything we do, we want to make sure we're putting on content that revolves around what you guys want to hear.
Yes, and I can tell you from this past week, having to speak to our viewers, because I know you're watching, and thank you so much for watching and liking this video. What I'm hearing from you tell me is that, you know, how in the world, like, how is it possible to buy a house in this time? My home that I purchased back in 2017 has a 3% interest rate. I have a seller right now in Rainbow. His interest rates when he purchased his home was 7%. And he has a $170,000 loan. And if you're watching this, sir, nobody knows who you are. So, but, you know, just to put this out there and to put things into perspective, even before 2017, even before COVID and all of that, interest rates were a normal 12.
Back, we had interest rates at one point as high as 18%. Yeah, and I hear that argument that but home values were a lot less. Yeah, and it's all perspective. Like, let me give you my personal story of when I purchased my first home was in 2004. So I went through the 2008 process, right? And it was never easy, because it's never easy to buy a home. If you're looking and waiting for it to be easy, it is not. It's always scary, and it's always a big purchase. Because I remember in 2004, it felt like now to what my customers feel like today. I feel that way.
What was your interest rate in 04?
I think I had like a 5.5.
Okay.
Yeah, 5.5, almost 6, somewhere in that range. And I was competing with everybody. Like, you know, first time home buyer. And every time we made an offer, the home had 20, 30 offers.
Wow.
Like some full cash offers. The market was hot. Like we were so disappointed because we got beat so many times. I can't even tell you. I threw my hands up so many times. I'm like, okay, I don't want to buy anymore. This is it's just depressing. I'm never going to get my foot in the door. This is really hard. It was really difficult. And we were able to finally purchase a home. And yeah, it wasn't easy. You know, certain things about today's market, when I look at clients that I represent on the lending side, yes, the rate is it's higher. Yes, prices of homes are higher than they were back when I was buying, but I also thought at that time home values were at the highest they had been, right? We were every year it was like a new high. Every month it was a new high. a new high, nonstop all the way to 2008.
Wow.
So kind of similar to what we were experiencing in the last couple of years here and currently. And I think people want an easy, sometimes think there has to be an easier way of buying a home. You know, now if I could get a 2.5%, it makes it easier. Or if values dropped again to like 50% of values dropped like in 2008, it would be easier. And the reality is there is things that can make it easier, but it's never easy buying a home. It isn't. It is a big purchase and it's very stressful and it takes a lot to make it happen. So you have to be ready for that. And also we talk a lot about payment because really you need to be payment focused, not interest rate driven. You need to know what your principal, interest, taxes, insurance, if there's HOA, special assessments, you need to understand all of that. And then once you understand that payment and that payment works into your budget, then you're going to be okay with buying regardless of the rate.
This is the reason why we stress. Do not go to open houses without getting pre-approved. And I'm going to be a little bit passionate here because, you know, there's a lot of people who window shop. Mm-hmm. And they fall in love with a property that's just so beautiful. I'm going to get this. I'm going to do that. I'm going to house hack. I'm going to rent this. And then my mortgage is going to be paid for and everything. And then you actually get down and you speak to a mortgage broker and they break it down for you to where you can actually understand what your mortgage payment is going to look like. Mm-hmm. And you're like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You mean I can only afford a studio apartment?
Yeah. Well, I don't want to be the bad guy, but this is a comfortable payment. Yes.
You know,
don't window shop for that reason.
But I see it. It's a real thing.
Yeah.
It is a real thing. And you know what the problem is, and I hate to say this, it's social media. It's social media. Mm-hmm. Everybody wants to blast the all big, glorious homes and everything. But then when it comes down to it, to look at themselves as a reflection, they look in the mirror and they're like, okay, I'm ready to buy. And then they come to figure out all of their finances and they're like, oh my gosh, actually, I can't afford this. This is the reason why working with real estate professionals is so important. Yes. This is the reason why we're all about relationships over transactions. We're not here to help you buy a house and then leave you orphaned, okay? We're here for the long run. We're here to take care of you because when you're buying a property, you're talking about at least $500,000, if not less. Right? If you're a 24-year-old, 27-year-old, mm-hmm. whatever the case may be. I mean, if you are really serious about building generational wealth, you have to understand how to enter the market because real estate is the only recession-proof asset that exists in this world. I don't know anything else other than real estate that is really appreciating in a way where you can hold on to it for 20, 30 plus years, have it paid off or whatever the case may be, whatever strategy you want to be tailored for you and your family. But real estate for the average consumer buys one house in their entire lifetime, 2 houses, if that, right?
Yeah, no, and well, I was going to make a joke. I shouldn't. You were serious about that. Sorry. But the reality is I get clients that most clients, just so that everybody listening and watching this, most clients that sit with us and that I talk to them about payment, mm-hmm. most of them are shocked, right? Because really to buy a single family residence at $915,000, let's use that number, the payment, when they come in, they just don't think the payment's going to be that high. And a lot of families don't have a big down payment. So we're using programs like VA, 100% financing, or we're using a conventional rate with conventional loan with 5% down, or FHA with 3.5% down. So you're financing 95+% of the purchase price, and that's a lot of financing. And so when I sit down with families or individuals, active service members, and we show them a payment for the first time, 99% of the people are like, oh, right? I don't think we're prepared to see the payment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's okay, because that's the first step, right? Understanding your payment and understanding like what you thought you wanted and what you can afford. Because if you don't take that step, you can't take step number 2 to like making the reality of owning property. Most people will not be able to afford their dream home on the first round, and that's okay. We're not Bill Gates. We're not, those are the people that can afford their dream home on the first round. Us, hardworking people that have good jobs, good careers, it takes multiple purchases before you make it to your dream home. And that's how it is. And it's okay to be like that. So I think we all need to, like, when we talk, we really kind of put everything on the table so that we kind of bring a reality to what you're doing. And that's why we say, do not window shop, because you're living in a space where you don't know your numbers. And all you're doing is really, you're making it really hard for yourself, because when you do sit down and you start looking at numbers, you've been window shopping, you've been looking at things, you've taken out, maybe if you have family, your whole family, and now you have all this build up, wants and needs. And it's like, okay, but this is where you need to start. And so don't window shop, get together, make sure you have your numbers straight, start with that. It probably at first is going to be a little hard to swallow, because it is for most people, and that's okay. But then after you start seeing the benefits of home ownership and how that first home, maybe it's a condo, can take you to your next home, could be a bigger townhome, or can be a single family residence, but not your dream home. And maybe that home, by the third time, you get that dream home. Maybe you keep the properties and now you own 2 investment properties by the time you get to your dream home, and you use the equity from the homes to move into the next home. So there's a lot of different strategies, but you can't work strategies if you never get into one of the homes.
Well, the very first thing before even thinking about buying a house is getting pre-approved. So if you are thinking, wondering, or trying to figure out how to build generational wealth, give us a call. We're always happy to answer your text messages, your calls, anything. Also send us an email. All of our information is down below. And if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe to our channel, and share this video with someone else who you might know who could benefit from it.
Thank you, Angelica. Thank
Thanks.
you, everyone.
Bye-bye.